Hello, family. Another episode of Latino Vegano. This is number 66, and I'm your host, digital marketing expert, fitness and personal development coach, Roger. For the last 2 decades of my life, I have been living, reading, promoting, and supporting anything related to veganism. And for today's episode, I want to shed some light. We'll talk a little bit about what can I do if my family is not vegan. I know some of y'all have been frustrated about it. I know some of you guys trying to convert your family or turn your family into vegans or friends into vegans and don't know how. So I think this is a great opportunity for us to have a conversation about this. So let's go.
Latina. Latinoyvegano.com.
So I think before we even go further into this conversation of why my family is not vegan, and I think it's good to have a little bit of a history and a little bit of the science behind it, for those that likes that kind of statistic and a little bit of the personal growth and personal development in that sense. For the majority of us, los Latinos, the Latins, we grew up in a very traditional household, regardless of what generation are you. And you can be first, second, third, fourth, whatever, it don't really matter. There's always traditions and involved into that. Traditions are very engraved in us. We are really heavy into traditions. It's also what we call our culture. You hear these terms a lot. And yes, culture plays a big role in our identity. It's basically part of us. See, I'm going to explain a concept in simple terms, why our culture influences our life, like completely. See, when we are babies, our mind is wide open. Everything comes straight to our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is the lower part of our mind. That part of our mind that won't reject anything. Is a part of our mind that believes everything and manifests all through our bodies. That's also the part of our mind that controls feelings or emotions, and it doesn't know the difference between a real or something that is just imagined. It's like, I feel this way. That's our subconscious mind telling our body, manifesting some kind of feeling, some kind of sensation. Same thing as calling vibration. So when we are babies, our subconscious is wide open, extremely wide open. It's the reason why you hear people say, wow, that kid is like a sponge. He or she, capture everything. Is because our subconscious mind is wide open, so it's just learning process. So it's taking all that information in. Because at that age, their mind is extremely open, accepting everything around them, hearing everything, learning everything from TV, YouTube, social media, family members, podcasts, radio, any of these sources, newspaper, internet, you call it, society. That's how they learn the language. You can be a baby born in any country, and you picked up the language right away, right? It's because your subconscious is so open, so it's just receptive to all that information in. And that's how your personality start forming. So if you grew up in a non-vegan household, chances of you to being vegans are going to be less, right? It's obvious because you didn't grew up with that kind of thing around you, so it's not part of your culture, right? So it's something you're not used to. It wasn't part of your culture or daily day. However, kids who are born in a vegan environment also stay in that lifestyle for a lot longer, or even pass, to the next generation when their kids get older. Culture is also what we all call paradigms. A set of programs or conditions we develop over the years that reside in our subconscious mind. I have spoken about paradigms before, and I've spoken about culture on previous episodes. It's heavily influenced by our food, and the majority of the foods that we eat are not even healthy, especially from our culture standpoint. I always talk about culture being, for many countries in Latin America and even Europe, even Africa or Asia, culture includes what we call our food is part of our culture, some kind of custom, some kind of outfit is part of our culture, some kind of chant, music is part of our culture, the way the festivities are kind of our culture. All that stuff plays a role in what we call culture, right? In the Panamanian culture, we have our typical food or our national staples. We also have our national music, and we have our national outfit. So all that ties together into our culture, into the identity. If your family is not vegan and you want to start planting the seed, I suggest you first getting educated on the topic. That would be my first suggestion. You start with you first. Actually, get educated. Watch as many documentaries as possible. I will be doing an episode reviewing my top 5 or top 10. I don't know how many documentaries. So basically, the best documentaries, bigger documentaries that I can find and what I've seen in my 20 years. And there's some really good ones out there. So I'll be doing an episode just talking about that. And just educate yourself. Documentary is a good way. I mean, really good articles. There's a couple of websites that are good, especially the Greg website. He does provide a lot of science behind veganism or plant-based diet. Cornell Institution. I'm a graduate from them. However, I don't get paid by saying this, but Mr. Colin Campbell, and he has a really good study. China Study is his book, but he have a really good program also that teaches a lot about plant-based nutrition. So that's a really good program also. And so there's a lot of information this day when it comes to veganism. So for you, my challenge to you is to get educated, get as much knowledge on the topic as possible, and not just educated on the health side of veganism, but also get educated on the animal rights part of the veganism, but also get educated on the environmental part of veganism, and then start improving or evolving in different areas of veganism, activism that you can also get involved and get educated upon, because we want to be able to know and learn about this lifestyle, this movement as much as possible. That's how you want to call it. My other pieces of advice is you want to lead by example. You have to. You have to be the best version of you. And this is for anything. If you want to represent your family, you want to represent in the best ways possible. Lead by example, meaning that if you're an activist, be an activist. Be a strong activist. If you are animal rights, be an animal rights, and then just represent yourself. If you are a fitness junkie, be a fitness junkie in the plant-based space, and then but whatever it is that you involved on, just represent it well. Lead by example, inspire others. Don't put no crap out there. Don't be saying no dumb stuff, and just represent yourself the best way possible. That way, when people see you and they follow you, or they get inspired by you, it's because you represent yourself and your vegan lifestyle the best way possible. I remember one time I was gonna post a picture and I sent it out to my girlfriend, so she gave me her feedback, and then she replied back saying that I shouldn't post that picture because the information was not right. It was wrong. And she was right. So right away I said, I'm not being true to myself, so I really can't do that. And it wasn't really like the picture was photoshopped, or it was, I did anything to enhance myself. It was just that the dates on the picture was not the right one. So I thought about that and said, I gotta be true to myself. So regardless of what it is, I just gotta be honest about it, and I make those changes. So I encourage you, so whatever you do online or offline, you always see through yourself, represent yourself the best way possible, because that's how people are going to remember you. That's how people are going to appreciate you. That's how people are going to get inspired. My last piece of advice, but last but not least, is that you have to find that angle. What I mean with that is that not every approach that you take to try to kind of lead your family in or bring it in is the right approach. Why I say that? Because there's so many ways that you can approach veganism, or that you can approach a plant-based diet, and not all those approaches is like one size fits all, to say it. So for example, if you survey 10 vegans, you might find that out of those 10, a couple of them stumbled upon veganism due to health reasons. Others was due to environmental issues. Others were involved in more of the animal rights. and you have a really plethora of options when it comes to finding your angle and joining or turning vegan. So you gotta find what that angle that works for your family or for your friend. For me, it was animal rights. That to me did it. I didn't really have to do anything else. I saw how animals were treated, and I went vegan right there, like cold turkey, no pun intended. So it works for me that way, right? But that doesn't mean that for Carmen or James or Jose, it's gonna be the same way. So like for my family, I remember that I tried to approach veganism from the same standpoint that it affect me, right? And that didn't trigger anything for them. I'm not saying that my family are heartless, but at the same time, that for them it was not shocking aspect. However, my dad and my sister, so my dad specifically, he was really big into science. He always wanted to become a doctor. He became successful in another field of life, but science was big for him. So when my sister decided to become a doctor, he was like, wow. He was like, he saw himself in my sister's journey. So for me, the best way to approach it was to science. So when I'm interviewing doctors and I'm showing you the science behind veganism, or at least the science behind plant-based diet, it was like, okay, well now we got something to kind of back up or give us enough ammunition to say that this is healthy. On top of that, I'm doing it, so I'm leading by example, right? I'm planting the seed, and I'm showing them an angle that resonate more with their lifestyle or more with their way of seeing or way of thinking. So I encourage you to find that angle that works for your friend and your family. And then some I'm going to work and some I might not, but you just got to find that right one. Try and error is good, and then try that right angle. And once you find it, just keep planting the seed. Just go for it. Well, I hope this episode helps many of you guys to start planting that seed and leading by example, and finding that right angle so you can help transition either your family or your friends. And let's start with 1, 2. We start with 1, 2, and start triggers away up. And let's get this movement going. Let's get more people involved and see the benefit of not only living a plant-based lifestyle or a vegan lifestyle from a health standpoint, but also that the benefit that it brings to our environment and to our animals too, to our sentient beings also. So let's get that going, and let's keep empowering people. If you are vegan, great. Let's keep growing, learning how you can keep making a difference. I mean, if you are not a vegan, I'm here for you. For the last 20 years, I have been mastering this lifestyle. I figured it out how to stay healthy, mind, body, and soul. And all I want to do now is teach and talk about veganism. That's why I have a podcast related to vegan. That's why I have products, digital products, to help vegan businesses to improve and get more leads, get more clients, and get out there to help them through social media. So anything that I do is always related to veganism, and I love it. I couldn't ask for a better lifestyle. So the only thing I want to do is promote it and live through it. So you need some teaching, some guidance, anything that's possible in that area for, new vegans or vegan curious, or anyone interested on being a vegan. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I could be found in any of my social medias. I'm in all platforms, even TikTok. And or you can just email me, roger@veganroger.com. And I got all my information on my Linktree bio. You click on my Linktree on Instagram or Facebook, you can find all my information, even my Cash App if you want to send me some money. Anyway, but yeah, so I got my information there. You guys can reach out to me. I'm glad to answer you guys any questions, to talk about anything related to veganism. And this has been, a topic that is resonate with a lot with me and family members and friends. But you know what? I'm always going to continue to planting the seed. I'm always going to continue to lead by example. And I'm going to continue to find the right angle so I can reach more and more people and make more people see veganism as the best way to live. So, for now, peace, love, vegan. See you guys.
Gracias por escuchar Latino y Vegano, un show donde se habla todo lo relacionado sobre el veganismo entre la comunidad latina. No olviden suscribirse a este podcast, seguirnos en Instagram, Facebook, YouTube y a visitarnos en latinoyvegano.com.